Hello everyone, this is our debut on the program podcast. I am Vita.
And I'm Wiley.
3, 2, 1. Bring English to your life with EDSA Podcast.
Okay guys, first of all, we have a really famous person at our English Education Department of TBI Kudus lately. Hello, Mas Alex.
Hello, really famous.
Yes.
How are you today?
Sorry?
How are you today?
I'm fine.
Okay, I'm always in the I'm good.
Yes, we are good.
Do you know that you are very famous at our study program?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, people recognize me in the street. I'm sure.
Okay, but maybe there's some people who don't really know you as well. So would you please introduce yourself, okay?
Sure. So my name is Alexis. I come from France, south of France, like in the south of France, Marseille. And I'm here since 1 month, and I do a volunteer in the English department of Kudus with the bateau.
All right. So what are you doing before you come in here?
My studies and everything.
Or maybe your school or something.
Okay. What I did before, I did a bachelor degree in geography and in urbanism. I did it also in the south of France, but it's 3 years, so I did 3 years of a bachelor degree because it's 3 years in France, and I did my last year in an exchange student in Romania. And after I graduate, I chose to take a gap year because I didn't know exactly what I want to do. So right now I'm in gap year. Before a still degree, I want to do a master degree. So I did 9 months in Marseille with an NGO, and now I'm doing 3 months in Indonesia with another NGO which is called EDSA PODCAST, and especially now in Kudus.
Right. So today we have some list of questions for you. We are going to talk about cross-cultural understanding and English education. Because our topic today is cross-cultural understanding in English education. So can we go straight to first question?
Sure.
Right.
Do you like to travel around the world? And if you have some reason why you choose Indonesia for your destination?
Yeah, I like to travel around the world. I think it's my parents who gave me this thing because since I'm young, we are traveling Europe and other continents by moment. So I still continue to travel, but by myself now. And why did I choose Indonesia? I chose Indonesia first for the project because the project of the Jabato was really interesting for me. I had different projects I can choose in different countries, but I chose Indonesia and the Jabato because I like the project. It was really makes sense for me to do that, to improve myself and to also feel useful and give things to people. And also because it's a country I like and I want the culture. I like the culture, sorry. So this is why I choose Indonesia.
Or maybe it's related to your degree, right? It's geography and Indonesia because I think,
maybe my degree give me also my love of the travel and going abroad. But it's not mandatory to go abroad when you are in geography studies. It really acts on the geography in France. So I don't think it's that. I think it's more by my parents, like this thing.
Maybe you interested to do some research or something in Indonesia?
Some studies, or also maybe it depends on my master degree. For example, now I know more about Indonesia. I can, for sure, I can maybe make some research about it. That can be really interesting. So I don't know what in the future is made of. So let's see.
All right. So about you're staying here for 1 month, right? So we would like to know what is the things that may be memorable for you and impressed you the most during your stay in Kudus?
The thing, the most memorable, I think the thing that impressed me the most is I'm the only foreigner bully here. Like,
Yes.
in Kudus, but I never saw other bully in Kudus.
Yes.
And people are always like recognize me, and I feel like I'm a star, but I'm not a star at all. I mean, I'm normal people. So I think that's really impressed me. It was kind of really surprising, but now I'm getting used to, so it's okay. But at the beginning, it was kind of special. And what is the most memorable? I think all the time I went in also in some schools, some senior high school, junior high school, elementary school, but it was always so happy to see me. So I was really impressed by that, but also really happy because I can give something to people, and that's really important to me.
It's like when everywhere you go, you just be the center of the attention, right?
Yeah, I'm not used at all about that. I'm kind of shy. I'm really shy. I'm not really shy, but in France, I'm someone which don't really like to have stares at me. But I would say I'm quite humble, and I don't like that. So here I think it's changing me a bit. I don't want to be too confident because it's not good for me, I think. But I think it makes me maybe more confident about having stares on me, because it's really uncommon for me to have that.
Right. Because you're always being the center of the attention everywhere you go. Did you have any difficulties about the language with the people around?
Yes. To communicate, it's not always easy. I try to learn about Indonesian, but people are speaking on Chinese most of the time, so it's hard for me. English, most of the time it's difficult, but luckily I'm always with some volunteers here, which are my friends also, so they are always helping me, and if I'm struggling with the people I don't know to communicate, they help me. But when I'm alone, sometimes it's not easy, but also the visual direction, we have our phone now, so we can manage. So
Right.
it's hard, but it's challenging, but it's okay.
All right.
Okay. Do you feel comfortable when you are in this country, especially in Kudus City?
Yes, I feel comfortable, but I need time to adapt myself. For example, now Kudus, I feel really comfortable. I can say I feel home almost, but I feel good. I have some comforts, that's nice. But for sure, the weather and everything is different, and that's not easy to adapt. But I feel good in Tunisia. I will not stay my whole life here because I have too much thing in my country that I can't live. But for 3 months, it will be good, yeah.
All right. Okay, I would like to ask about your country in France, or maybe in other country that you have visited before.
Really?
How is the way of life, association, culture different in your country and Indonesia?
The life in general, you mean?
Yes.
For sure, this is really different. Asia and Europe are not on the same continent, and the culture is totally different.
Yes.
And especially like even when you are in Europe or when you are in Asia, you change the country, there is a big difference of culture. So if you move to another continent, the culture is even more different. So for sure it's not the same. But what can I say? I mean, it's everything. The culture is everything, so everything is different. The religion is really important here. For example, the people are different, the behavior. You have to know the manner are different, to say hi to people, to greetings, to everything is different, and you have to adapt yourself. It's not always easy because you are learning a lot of things. But I also think that's really interesting to learn different culture. But for sure, it's totally different. For me, it's like not 100% different, but big difference here.
All right. What is your biggest culture shock when you say France and live in Indonesia?
I think there is three for me. The first thing you feel is the weather. When you go out, you're like, okay, it's really hot here. And with that, it's hard to adapt my body. I will always say it, but I feeling really tired. And I guess it's because of the weather, which is really hot and wet. This is not easy for me. A bullet from a country, which the weather is very different. It's hard to adapt. And there is also the food. It's really different. It was not a big shock, but it's really different that I have to adapt also. Now I'm used to it, okay. And the third thing, I will again say it, but religion is really important here. Not only Islam, also the other religions. Everything is more important. Like the religion are really important for everyone, and you can see that everywhere, every moment of the days, in school, everywhere, and that's really different of my country. So that shocked me a bit. But also get used to. So it's okay and really interesting.
All right.
And how do you adapt with your environment? Maybe you have some tips for the viewers
For the environment?
For adapting here.
My tips, I don't have individual secret. I think just need time to keep, to not be 100% on the planning. To do exactly like what you Indonesians do, because I can't. For example, me, I need to have AC in my room. I think it's important because I'm not resistant to the hot like you, to the hot weather like you. What else? I don't know what tips, because I think it's different. I mean, if you go one day in France, or I don't know, in Europe or country really different, it will be not the same adaptation, not like my adaptation. So I think my tips will not work. But yeah, just try to be with locals who can help you in the adaptation. I think it's also important, and it's more smooth. I think more to be adapted.
Right. So we are gonna talk about the education system in France and Indonesia. So, how is the learning system in France? What is the difference between the education? How is the learning activity for the student there?
Actually, it's quite similar as Indonesia. I learned it here, but I will explain you because I know not everybody know. So it's mandatory at 3 years old to 6 years old. It's kindergarten, but I know it's not mandatory in Indonesia, but in France it is. After that, you have 5 years of elementary school. After elementary school, you have 4 years of junior high school, and after junior high school, you have 3 years of senior high school. So I know it's more or less the same. I mean, I know there is some years difference, but at the end you finish around 18, I think.
Right.
After 18, you have university, and that you can in France you can choose. You can apply for a lot of different things in public, private. It really depends. And about what we learn, this is really, there is a program you have to follow. Like the teacher have to follow the program in primary school, in junior high school, but they have like the freedom to teach like they want. It can be more or less strict. It can be a bit more relaxed. Can be more informal also. Yeah, it really depends on the teacher, of the professor. I think that really it can change a lot. And in primary school, you only have one teacher by year, and in junior high school and senior high school, you have a lot of different professors, like around, I don't know, 8 maybe professors.
All right. If we can say one day learning activity in France from the morning till go home, what would it be?
It depends on the day, because you have a schedule on all the week. So I think it's also like that here. You can have, I don't know, French lesson on Monday, and on Tuesday you can have mathematics. Say that's another. But we have a long day in France where it's starting around 8 and finishing between 4 and 6. It depends if you are in primary school or senior high school. So this is really long days. There are 1 or 2 hour break for lunch. And in primary school and kindergarten, Wednesday is free. And in senior high school and junior high school, Wednesday afternoon is free, but Wednesday morning you have to go to school. And I can speak about also the holidays. Because I think it's because of that, because we have really long days, we have also big holidays. During senior high school, junior high school, and elementary school, we have 2 weeks holiday in October, 2 weeks holiday in December, 2 weeks holiday in February, 2 weeks holiday in May, and 2 months holiday for summer.
Wow, that's a lot of holidays,
Yeah.
right? But the holiday is not like weekly.
Sorry?
Do you have a weekly holiday?
The weekends. Weekend on Saturday and Sunday, they're supposed to have work. But it depends. You can have, in my senior high school, most of the time on Saturday morning, I had an exam of chemistry. It was annoying, but yeah. So I think we have a lot of holidays because we have really long days, and this is really exhausting. So I think that's the best system, in my opinion.
In high school, we also have the same, we also have the same day for learning activity, but we only have holiday at the end of the semester, and it's only for 2 or 3 weeks, I think.
Okay. But yeah, in university it's different. So it's changing because the holiday are just 1 week.
Yes.
In university in France, 1 week. But on December it's 2 weeks because it's big holidays. But the other are just 1 week, and there is also a break between the 2 semesters. It depends. So it depends on the teacher, but sometimes you can have 1 week, sometimes 2. It depends on the university also of when are the exam. Sometimes the exam are like in December. Sometimes you have also some in January. So yeah, it's really it's not always the same in all university.
All right.
Do you ever join a class in Kudus? And based on your experience, what is the difference between having system in French and in Kudus?
I've been in the class in EIN. Actually, I'm here for that as volunteer. I'm like supporting the lecturers. So I've been in a lot of class. And what is the difference? I already told the difference before, but about the learning system, I don't know because it's English university education, and there was not English language studies, so I don't really know if it's really different or not. But I also think there is things I like on the system here. I think are better than in system in France. Like for example, I like the thing like you can be the teacher in some classes. You can like present the things, and the lecturer let you do in group to be the teacher, to experiment the difficulty and how it is to be a teacher. I think that this is good to have the experience. Like everybody was doing it seriously, so I think it was nice. And secondly, I think the good thing here is like you have days which are in the morning and maybe a beginning afternoon, and after it's finished.
Yeah.
And you have like, I will not say short days because it's not that, but it's more adapt than our system, I think, in France, because we have really long days. It's really exhausting. And maybe we have big holidays, but it's not, for me, it's not working well, because it's too long sometimes, and yeah, it's not the best, so I would prefer a system which you have.
All right. Is that also in the college? I mean, in the university?
In university, it depends university for sure, but me in university, in my case, it was more chill, I say, because I only have 20 hours by week of class, which is not a lot, and much more, I will not say chill, but relax with reading classes, because the thing in university, in France, it's you have to work a lot at house in the home, but and you have less classes, real classes. So I prefer the system in college than in senior high school, because in senior high school they're like, you go to school at 8, you go back at 6, and you still have work to do. That's really never ending. And sometimes you have exam on Saturday morning, so that's really a lot. And I really prefer the university system.
All right, so that's why you guys have a lot of holidays, right?
Yeah, I think that's the reason. That's my theory. But I don't know really why we have
All right.
holidays.
All right, it is the time for you to show off. What is your biggest achievement in your life? Or maybe you can mention your school or college achievement or something.
Achievements. Honestly, I don't feel I did a lot of things. I mean, to have a lot of achievement, but I will say to graduate my bachelor degree. I think that's big achievement for me, because I was studying in senior high school. It was really hard for me, so it's been a lot for me to graduate my bachelor degree. But I have to finish my job and to go to do master degree now. And I think one of the other biggest achievements is to go abroad during 9 months in Romania. It was really big and make me grow up a lot. And the last one is right now, the smart in Indonesia. I think it's one of the biggest things I did in my life. But I believe in it right now, so I don't have the. I will know after. It's really important, but I think.
That's a great experience, though, because I also wanted, but I can't.
When you want to learn English language, do you have some tips that is very effective for you
To learn English or?
to learn English?
Yes.
Okay. To learn English, I always say I always say the same most of the time. There is no secret to speak English. I mean, if you met me maybe 3 years ago, it was not possible for me to speak English. I was like, I don't have the vocabulary. It's just a question of you have to go to work in class. It's important, but it's maybe 50% of the work to do to speak good English. The other part is a lot of work on your side, like by yourself. As I said, practicing is the most important thing. There is different way to practice. To speak with people is the best way possible. In real life, it's good, but if you can, because still don't have a variety occasion, you can also speak to people online. You can play some games. You can watch some series, movies in English. You can use some apps to learn English. Also, what else? You can listen to some music. Also, it will not maybe it will not make you improve a lot, but still learning some vocabulary, and it will be useful later. But yeah, the thing the most important to make me grow up and really improve my English was to go abroad. Yeah, definitely, because I don't have choice. I'm obligated to speak English, and when you are challenging like that, the body have to adapt, and I think humans are quite good to adapt. So yeah.
You have no choice but to speak, right?
Yeah, I mean there is also French, but I mean if you just speak to French people, you miss a lot of things. So yeah.
How long did you learn English?
It's maybe 10 years.
10?
10. Yeah, around 10, I think. Around 10, but I really speak more English since 2 years maybe. Because I was in Romania last year 2021, 2022. So I really put there. But before that, I was quite good. I mean, in my country, but abroad I was like, it's not really bad. I was really not comfortable at all, and now I trust more my skills. Even if I have a big accent, I speak fast. I feel more confident. I think that's important to be confident about your English and to trust yourself.
Yes, we also have similar. We also similar though. We start learning in English when we at elementary school, but we learn English deeply at the university because we take English as our program?
Yeah, me. In primary, it was really the basic, like to sing some song. But I just know my name is Alexis. We begin more to learn English in the junior high school. So 4 years and after 3 years in senior high school. But it's still lesson, formal class. And as I said, you need to do things by yourself. And I think I didn't do enough. And in fact, we don't do enough. So, yeah, we have to use other tools.
All right. You said that you have your degree 1 year at voluntary program, right? Where is it?
No. The bachelor degree in geography, in the bachelor in general, it's 3 years in France. So most of the time people are doing their 3 years in France. But you can also do exchange program of students. And so I did my last year of studies in Romania, but that was not as volunteer. That I was a student there, in class. I was at school in Romania, you could say, yeah. So it was not volunteering. It was just students, but in another country. Like if I was student in the island.
Yeah, right. Okay, so do you have any difficulties when you study at Romania? And maybe you don't understand the class or something because maybe at that time your English is not really practical, right?
Yeah, it was not easy at the beginning. And I asked for help to my friends who were better in English sometimes. But after times I really improved and it was more easy to understand what people say. Just the adaptation is take a bit of time, but you improve after. The trust mode is really improved so much. The trust mode is really blessing. And I think the thing which was difficult was the technical vocabulary in the geography was not easy. All the technical vocabulary, it's not easy because when you are talking with people in a chat, like informal, you will not use technical vocabulary. So I was missing that. It was hard for me to use that or to understand that. But after that, I have a class called English for Geography. So I learned a lot of technical vocabulary in this class, and this was really useful. So yeah, I think just the time and a bit of studying, and it was better. Unfortunately, it was challenging, but you naturally made a lot of words.
Right.
So guys, the cross-cultural understanding is really important to know, especially for English learner, because from there we can bring English to our life and you will know the different culture of our country and another country. Okay, because all of the question list is already answered, I think that our discussion today is enough. I hope our podcast today will give you a lot of advantage. Thank you for the time, Mas Alex, and all the viewers.
All right, let's close the podcast. Okay, let's say it together. Okay, we are gonna close the podcast today. 3, 2, 1. Bring English to your life with EDSA Podcast.